There's information that has been passed down the ages in secret that was only taught to the select few that gets these select few seemingly otherworldly results. This includes quantum leaps in their growth, in their finances, in their relationships, in their influence, and so on. And we have been brought up in society to believe that there are those who have and those who have not. That some are lucky, some are not, some, can and some cannot. However, the truth of the matter is that when you are armed with this knowledge, and more importantly, know how to apply it, you can get what seems like otherworldly results as well. Now, there is so much info swimming about in this information age, and you will see this knowledge surface more and more. So why does it seem like most who are exposed to it don't actually end up getting amazing results? Simple, they are not applying it nearly consistently enough, they don't know how to apply it, or a lot of the time, they're missing certain pieces to the puzzle that allows it to work. It's like if you try and go and bake a specific type of cake, but you're missing 2 or 3 of the crucial ingredients. It doesn't matter if you have the rest of the pieces or the rest of the ingredients. If you're missing those 2 or 3 crucial ones, you're not going to get the cake you're going for. The life of your dreams is truly attainable. This is not something that is reserved for the select few. And when you actually learn the true rules to the game of life, and you learn how to apply them in a consistent manner, systematically, you will get those results. But you have to be willing to truly commit to it and to change, because whatever it is you've been doing has led to what you've gotten now. And so you have to be open to new information, open to moving differently, because through doing that, you will actually start to get the results. So in this video, I'm going to share some of these crucial rules to the game that, if understood and applied, can change everything for you. And again, those through the ages in secret societies or groups knew and used these principles to get extraordinary results in their own lives. Thing is, these laws and principles and rules don't belong to any one group. They are just laws of nature. And so when you learn them and apply them yourself, you will also get the results. Now, how do I know this? It's because I've been using them in my own life to create a 6-figure business that I love, that allows me to travel the world, live where I want to live, create my own schedule, and be thriving in every area as I continue to grow and expand and take this even further as I continue to learn. I've also helped so many others do the same by showing them how to apply these principles properly. You can learn more about their results towards the end of this video if you are interested in that. So that being said, let's jump into what these principles are, and again, most importantly, how to apply them. Now, something that those who are in these secret societies or those at the highest level of success are hyper aware of is the massive difference between information and transformation. And a lack of understanding of this principle and the application of this principle is what holds back like 99% of people from expanding and growing and becoming the person that they want to become. It holds them back from expanding their finances to the level that they want to expand it to next, or their health, or their relationships, or being able to live where they want to live, have the job they want to have, be able to work for themselves, create their own business. It is really this that blocks so many people from getting results, because it's going to stop you from even getting started or making progress in the beginning. You see, we are bombarded by information. There is so much information out there. We are in the golden age of information. If you want to know anything or learn about anything, it has never been more accessible. So why aren't more and more people successful? Why aren't more and more people living the lives they want to live? If information and apparently knowing these things is what's going to bring about that success, why aren't more people successful? And this is because of the difference between information and transformation. A lot of people believe they can just watch, for example, a ton of videos on YouTube University, and that's going to somehow magically allow them to shift and change into a whole new life. And to any of those people, and this is not to be snarky, this is a genuine question, how is that working out? Relying on all of this free information or all of these different things. Has that changed your life? Has that improved your finances beyond your wildest dreams? Being able to do what it is you want to do? We're not talking about little changes here and there. That's great too. But truly changed your life, transformed you. So again, information and transformation are insanely different. And the 1% of the 1% focus on transformation, not merely information. So first and foremost, those who are aware of these principles and are in that 1% of the 1%, they're very, very careful about the information they actually take on board. They have mentors and teachers within their group that have shown that they know what they're talking about. They listen to people who have been there and done that and gotten results in the areas they're trying to get results in. They are not just taking information from everywhere. They are very particular about where they're getting their information that they're then going to apply in their lives. It's kind of like if you have a personal trainer who's telling you exactly what you need to do in order to get fit, in order to get in shape, in order to eat well so that you can live the healthy life you want to eat. And this personal trainer is world class, let's say. They've helped get people results in this area in the past. It's like you having that and then listening to your friend who, once was an athlete but never really did personal training, never really went that deep into it, kind of just give you half-baked advice. Which one are you going to listen to? Or we can even make it even more obvious, one of your parents who's never been that fit giving you advice on health, or someone just, random person, a coworker giving you advice on health. Whose advice would be more valuable to listen to? The one who's been there, done that, has gotten results for people, or just the person who kind of watched some stuff and thinks they now know, and then following that advice? So those in these groups are very particular about the information they are consuming, and they tune a lot of the rest out. And I can even relate for myself, this is a lot of the time how I am. I have particular books that were vetted that I read. I don't read every book out there. I have ones that mentors have recommended me to read, the gold and the stuff I should be focusing on, giving my attention to, and most importantly, applying. It is this level of focus on the right information mixed with the application of it and being open to continue to be teachable from these sources that creates fast results for these people. This is what creates real transformation. You have to be teachable, but you have to also have discernment on who you're going to learn from. What information are you going to expose yourself and bring on board, and what can you just tune out because it's distracting from the one you actually need to look at to get to where you want to go. Most people are on YouTube and they watch a video, pick up a few decent ideas, and maybe they apply them once, most likely never. Then they check out 20 different channels, then watch entertainment videos for a bit, log on to maybe Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or something else where they are bombarded with God knows what quality of info, and then they wonder why nothing is changing. And I can again speak for myself, once I humbled myself, realized I didn't know it all, that there were so many people out there that could teach me and show me the way, found a mentor, got into the right things that were going to take me to where I wanted to go. That's when I truly started getting amazing results and my life transformed. And I've seen very few examples where someone's gone a different route to that and gotten phenomenal results. There are systems and ways of doing things that are out there that just work in the same way that if you get a personal trainer that is proven to get results and you go through that and do the work and trust the process, you will get results. Now, before I did do that, I actually thought I knew so much. I had so much info swimming in my head, but guess what? I was broke, always frustrated, always distracted, and I wasn't enjoying my life. And that truly is the future for someone who's just an info gatherer. But a new future is always available. You can always decide, actually, I'm going to focus in on transformation rather than just more information or trying to be right about everything and needing to know it all or whatever else it is. You can choose a new way in which you say, I'm going to be teachable, committed, and really someone who's not going to be an information gatherer anymore, but actually focuses on actual transformation, stops the distractions, gets honest with themselves so that they can actually get the results they want. Now, one other thing I want to mention that's kind of along the same lines that's so crucial to mention here when it comes to why certain people are so successful is they are very particular, not just with the information that they are consuming and applying and making sure it's very proven stuff, and making sure, it's stuff that's coming through these groups and other things. But they're also very particular with their peer group. And you've heard this one before, but this is one when I wasn't in it, I kind of dismissed. And then when I actually was in it, was like, wow, this is probably one of the most crucial components to this. Because if you do not have a group of elevated peers around you that can help lift you up, that are midwives to your dreams, it's going to be really hard to progress. And most people don't only have that, like they're not just doing it alone, they actually have peers that are dream killers, dream stealers, energetic anchors pulling them down. And so one thing to really look at is, what is your peer group like? Can you find a peer group, get into a peer group that is elevated? Because that group energy, that ability to observe others doing the work, trusting the process, and getting results is one of the most valuable things. And again, in these secret societies, one of the reasons they don't allow so many people into them is because they do not want energetic anchors in these groups that are going to drag down the rest of the group. They want people who are going to be midwives to each other's dreams, that are going to hold each other to a high standard so that it can cultivate growth, transformation, and expansion. So they aren't going to allow people in that are complaining all the time, have a victim mindset, have a limiting mindset, or distracted all the time, because it is going to lower the energy of the group and isn't going to benefit the group at all. So an action step for you is to start analyzing who and what are you giving your attention to most of the time. Now, at the end of this video, you'll learn how you can potentially join my peer group of those going through high levels of transformation, if that is something you are interested in. Now, the next principle we have to go over is something, again, that within these societies, they are hyper aware of and make sure that the members are aware of and are applying, and it's this idea of infinite action. And this is to say that everything that you do has an influence over your life, and over what you're going to receive in your life. Now, this can seem daunting at first, as if like everything you think, you do, and speak is going to impact your life. But it's actually something that I now rejoice at, and I want to explain why, and why you should be very grateful that it is this way. And this is because when you actually develop better habits, better patterns, a better identity, and move more automatically in an empowering way, this becomes much easier and happens almost on autopilot. And yes, it can be very daunting if at the moment you find yourself thinking negatively a lot more than you'd like, or feeling negatively, or choosing the actions that aren't in your highest. But this is something you can change. And when you begin to take the steps to change it, you start consciously thinking better feeling thoughts. You start feeling better. You start focusing on more of what you want versus what you don't want. You start taking the better choice or making the better decision more times than not. You start developing this habit or these good habits. A certain level of momentum begins to build. And now suddenly infinite action is working out in your favor in a huge way. Now, either way, it's important to understand that this is happening. This is something that is going on. And the universe does not care whether you do it from a more negative standpoint or a more positive standpoint. It will just work with you in whatever perspective you're coming to the table with. Meaning, if you're thinking negatively all the time, speaking negatively, feeling negatively, acting from that place, it's just going to be like, okay, and give you more of that. But it works on the other end of the spectrum as well. And so it's all well and good. You know, a lot of people like to complain about this one, or again, get into that victim mentality, but this is operating in your life. And so once you become aware of that, isn't it worth to then start making the changes that allows us to work in your favor versus something that's going to work against you and keep you in place? Now, with all that said, what we want to aim for is not perfection here. I don't want it to be confusing and for you to think that's what I'm saying here. We're just looking for consistency and you doing your best. You know, we teach our clients to think about it in terms of where do you live versus where do you visit. You see, most people live in a place or state of fear and guilt and shame and pride and apathy. And they only ever visit or vacation states like joy and happiness and gratitude, love and peace. You know, again, just every now and then. Whatever you find yourself in, whatever state you find yourself in most of the time, is the energetic frequency you're sending out to the all, the universe, or whatever you want to call it. That is your energetic signature, of which you're going to get more back of. So if all of the time, and you're sending out that signal always, this is what infinite action is, meaning you're always sending out that signal. There's no turning it off even while you sleep. You are sending out this energetic signal. But let's say you're sending out fear most of the time. That's the one you're living in, or, you know, certain frequencies close to that. So let's say fear, maybe anger, apathy, guilt. then you're just going to receive more back in your life that continues to cause you or create more fear in your life, or that is more likely and more probably will create more fear in your life. But the great thing is it works in the opposite direction too. If you're sending out most of the time living in places like joy and peace and abundance and gratitude and so on, you send that out through infinite action more times than not. You're living in that state. You start receiving that back as well in your life, and you get more reasons that come through to feel those same feelings. And you will get physical equivalents to those feelings. So you're feeling abundant all the time. Don't be surprised when opportunities to receive financial and physical wealth start coming in as well. So again, just be aware that you are in infinite action. It can be a hard pill to swallow, especially if you're earlier in the journey, but it is what's going on. And so by becoming aware of it and then starting to use some of what we're going over in this video, I'm going to give you in some other videos too, you will start to tip the scale in the other direction, where you are being more positive, where you are sending out the frequencies you want to send out more, or you're sending out the energy you want to send out more, and where that's coming more back into your life. It's being reflected back into your life. So again, what you think, feel, and do is being sent out. And the more you remember infinite action, the more you will wake up and be able to choose differently, which actually brings us perfectly into the next principle. And the next principle is choose, don't change. You have no right to change anything in your life, but you have every right to choose differently. If you don't like something in your life, it is simply a result of how you've been engaging with infinite action up until this point. It is the history of that, your energetic history. So everything you see around you is simply an energetic history of the choices you made previously, of the thoughts you were thinking most of the time, the words you were saying, especially the energy you were feeling, the emotions you were engaging with, and what you were doing from that place. That has created a history that you now see all around you. So stop trying to change the outside world, because you're literally trying to change something that has already occurred, that you've already done things for that have brought this about. There is only ever the now. However, you can, in the now, choose differently, which will then bring in different results. Now, there is a beautiful analogy that, again, we give our advanced students that describes this so well, and we repeat this during the whole course that we take them through for 6 whole months. We go over this over and over again because it's so important to come back to, and I'm going to give you some of that right now. So imagine you are in an art gallery and you are very welcome in this art gallery. You're told to make yourself at home, but you are a guest in this art gallery. Now, you're in a particular room in this gallery that has a very specific type of paintings up on the wall. Now imagine if, because you don't like these paintings that you're seeing, you start moaning about them, complaining, and even trying to destroy them or alter them. What would happen? Well, security would come in, remove you, and maybe even rough you up a bit. You see, you have no right to change any of the art in the gallery, but you have every right to move into a different room in the gallery. So if you're in one room where you don't like what you see, you can move into another room that has more of what you're looking for. If Picasso is in one room and you hate Picasso, then move into another room that has an artist that you actually enjoy. However, this is how most people engage with life. They see something they don't like, so they complain, try to change it, and so on. And that's like yelling at the painting in the art gallery you're in, hoping that something's gonna shift. Remember, all of it is an energetic history. You are literally yelling or fighting a history. Instead of doing that, choose a different focus. Choose a different room to go in and look at and engage with. What you appreciate appreciates. And when you begin to do this, you will be engaging with infinite action very, very differently. You'll be looking more at the paintings that you actually want in your life. And this will begin to create a new energetic history. In the book Reality Transurfing, it actually talks about choosing different lifelines. When you choose more intentionally and live more in higher states, you will find yourself on more favorable lifelines. But if you complain about the artwork, try and change it, keep yourself in lower states of consciousness, you will find yourself on very difficult lifelines. So choose, don't change. Remember, you are a very powerful creator, and your ability to choose is a very underrated one. Now, the next principle is the focus of purpose, and this is one that most people outside of these societies, or most people who are unsuccessful, do so poorly, which is one of the main reasons why they are unsuccessful. You've probably heard this before, but if you walk down pretty much any street, anywhere, and you ask people, what is your purpose? What is your vision? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Either they don't have an answer, or they have a kind of very weak answer that's not very purpose-driven, or they'll try and make something up on the spot. Now, how can you get somewhere if you have no idea where it is you want to go? Again, a lot of people say that they want change, they want transformation, but they have no clue of where they actually want to go. This is like going up to a ticket booth in a train station and the ticket clerk telling you, hey, where would you like to go? And you saying, I don't know. And they go, well, I can't give you a ticket unless you tell me where it is you would like to go. And they say again, well, you know what? I don't know where I want to go. I just don't want to be here. And this is how most people are operating. They have no idea where they want to go. They just know they don't want to be in the situation they're in now. They just know they don't want to be here. But again, you're not going to be able to get a ticket to what's next unless you know what you want next. So you have to have clarity of vision, and everyone has one deep down. But most are so distracted again with useless info, information overload, an avalanche of entertainment, poor thinking habits, and so on, that they have trouble digging out their vision from within themselves. Also, recognize that a perfectly good vision is discovering what your vision is. Because a lot of people go, I genuinely don't know what that is. Great, then your purpose at this point in time is to go down the pathway of discovering what that is. Yes, I will take one train ticket to discovering my purpose, please. That is a direction, that is a focus, and something you can do. When you lack focus, it's like you are on a ship in the middle of the ocean without a captain and crew. You'll just be taken wherever, most likely to the bottom of the ocean or shipwrecked on a random island. But when you have focus of purpose, when you have a definite chief aim and you keep your attention there, it's like having a world-class captain and crew at the helm of your ship moving you towards that vision. And if you have systems that help you keep your focus, then if you go a degree or two off course, you'll be able to tune back into it and get right back on course. Because a lot of people, when they try and do this as well, and they don't have the whole formula, or they don't know exactly what they're doing, they'll have a vision, but they'll get knocked a little bit off course, won't know how to course correct, won't even know that they are off course, and then end up in a completely different place. Again, one of the biggest problems with a lot of people is that they can stay on course through sheer motivation and excitement, maybe for a week or two, maybe a little bit longer. But once that dies down, they don't have things in place to keep them going. They don't have elevated peers, a mentor, the right tools to keep their ship moving towards what they want. They take one step forward, but then one step back over and over again. And if you haven't realized, this is actually keeping you in place. But it gives you the illusion of progress because you are taking one step forward, but then we tend to ignore that we keep taking a step back as well. When you have clarity of purpose, true focus, it's like pouring gasoline on the fire. If you don't know where you're headed, are distracted easily and so on, you will actually absolutely be moving towards a purpose, but it won't be your own. It'll be someone else's. And most likely, this person's purpose, or maybe this group's purpose, or this government's purpose, won't be in your best interest. Now, I know that it can be hard to knit all this together and make it work on your own. So if you're tired of just more information and actually want to experience a lasting transformation, then check out the first link in my description to learn more about our reality creation program, EMF. You'll learn how it works, the amazing results others have gotten, and more through our free case study video. Now, one other thing that I want to offer you that's going to be an amazing tool and give you a lot more that's going to work with what we've done today. Actually, it's another principle that people in secret societies and very successful people are aware of. And it's this video right here where I go over something called the law of balance. This is the predominant law of the universe. And so not understanding this and not applying this is going to just create spotty results in your life. So I'd go check that out next.